day. As you say, walk by a thing, well, I should fix that or clean that up, but I'll do that tomorrow. But you missed the opportunity. You won't have the same energy to do it tomorrow. You won't be in the same thought. You will not be in the same space, and you will not be learning the same thing. What you have learned is you postpone, and don't do. And then you have no sense of accomplishment during your day. You have a sense of ego fulfillment, so you did what you wanted to do without having to pay attention to what needed to be done. That is not fulfilling. That's what has a destruction capability to the body. You have responsibilities here, not only to one another, but to the creatures that serve you. Birds, animals, they're walking in a condition of freedom, understanding nature, natural force, and they're balancing some of the energies that the humans are not. But you have now difficulty because now the animals are getting upset because of the disrespect for the human condition, for all of nature, and they're attacking humans. The sharks are attacking, the bears are attacking, the wolves are attacking, the dogs are attacking, the elephants are attacking. Why? Because of the inappropriate thought process in the human condition. You're all connected. Everything is connected. The animals deserve respect. You deserve respect, not more than another, but equal, so you know what space you're sharing. How'd that animal get there? You didn't put it there. Another force put it there for you for a reason, for training purposes, so you can understand the significance of others' species and the importance thereof. But you humans have you've caught yourself up, and you see it. You can see it. With a total disrespect for anything. It's a sloppy behavior, and the correction is coming. Your month called November is going to get really interesting. In your words, the weather's going to become cold, dramatically cold, all over. You're not going to be ready for it. You're not going to be ready for it. You have many beneficial angelic forces willing to establish peace and solidarity and harmony on your plane. Yet they must be invited to called and well, not entertained, but you pay attention to the feeling that's coming out of your bones, particularly your spine now. And I don't mean, there might be this fearful thing. It'll be more like an awareness that another part of you has to take responsibility for some things that another part of you didn't. And it's the bones. Your tone is in your bones. Your name is in your bones. Your bones know your first name from your birth. That name, resonating through your bones, brings youth to the bones, because that's the name it knew as a young one. It brings the stability of a self, because that's who you were then. And it brings the stability and remembrance of youth. And the bones will remember, and you will adjust yourself. So as you, for a secret contemplation, just lay in your bed and remember your first name when you were born, and just repeat it. As you go to sleep, just think of it, send it down to all your bones, your fingers and things, and when you wake up in the morning, you're going to feel younger. You might feel a little angry, as you did when you were a child. Nothing was going right the way you wanted it, but just use the name in the bones and calm down, because you know better now. And when you find the strength back, that's where the blood's manufactured, in the bones. That's the only way it comes. So when the harmony is in the bones, your blood becomes more pure, and in the consciousness of understanding of what blood is, because it's life force provided, where oxygen is provided to the whole system, through the pumping of the blood, because you don't breathe enough. You don't get the depth of the oxygen through you. That's why you need the blood to go through for the oxygen in the system, and that's why you need water for the oxygen in the system. Pretty soon you're going to understand the importance of oxygen in your system as it flows through, from the blood and the water, and you're going to think about it. You're going to think about it. You're going to think about it. And then you're going to find out your bones are electrical. That's why they move so, information in the bones moves right through the water. And you found the bones eventually will turn crystalline. You've heard the stories, crystalline beings. It's a higher frequency of clarity. You know it, and your bones will start singing. You'll sing a song inside yourself. You don't have to verbalize it. It'll just start happening. And it'll be it's an I am me. It's an I am me. I am me. I have a me here. An M-E here. Myself, me here. Now we must work here. And then you contemplate and thank your bones and understand the process here. And once this is accomplished, you're going to understand what manifestation really is, how it works. Because you call and you receive. 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 You petition, you ask, you pray, and you receive. Instead of grabbing and grabbing and grabbing and grabbing, then you don't know what you're going to do with it. You've grabbed it. So you proceed peacefully. Because what is important is the presence of peace, harmony, protection, and joy in the presence of your space. That's what's important. Right now, particularly for the spine of your body, because the activation now is going to hit the crown chakra, and you're going to have to think differently. And by think differently, I mean receive differently, and pay attention to what you've received. Try to understand who's communicating with you, because they're not always your thoughts. Some come from the right, some come from the left, some come straight down, some come up. You need to pay attention to the ones that come up. Everyone pays attention to the ones that are around them, like radio stations. Get inside. Sit on your throne, pay attention to the thought that comes up. It'll be a desire. And you'll know the limitation of it. If it says, I need this much money and all that. No, another desire. Health of the body, mind, and spirit first. And then when that comes, the spirit takes care of the things. And you have accomplished something. That's the trick of all of this. The accomplishment needs to be felt within the body daily of something. So you can proceed next. And as you go to bed at night and you say your name, understand that you have to prepare for your day tomorrow. You're working. You have things to do. Get them in order. And then proceed with them. That's the process. What you don't understand, really, your whole world now is in a spiritual boot camp. Everybody's segregated to the amount of understanding they have. And you're learning with that grouping you're in. And groupings have become separated now. Because there's some that just can't handle some of the information. There's a disregard for the life of others. It's a pathetic condition. You have teachers that have been teaching, masters that have come, and no one pays attention, no one's paid attention. The only time they really pay attention is when the nature goes bazonk, and floods kill everybody, and then there's something to do. Well, that's sort of based on ignorance, because you haven't learned how to control your weather. You pray. You pray. You pray. You pray for rain, and you pray to stop the rain. So, this is what is really happening. This is what is happening. And you have those that need to have confrontation in order to understand themselves as thinking something important, but they're not. Everyone's breathing the same breath, same type of breath. The air might not be the same, but you know how to breathe. Part of you is breathing you. Sometimes you're being breathed and you don't even know who's breathing you. You don't remember breathing during your sleep. How's that happening? You don't remember how the heart keeps beating when you're sleeping. How's that happening? You have consciousness within you that's trying to instruct you, but the human condition thinks it's greater when it's awake. It's greater when it's asleep. You can do something. It can actually prepare help for the body. That's what sleep is for. So you can go back to your kingdom and straighten out the mess that you've done. Because you brought things from other lifetimes. You just don't remember. That's the heaviness. So that's what you call the forgiveness of self is so important. You forgive yourself. You accept the fact that you are ignorant at that point, did not know, did not understand. And you accept that and then proceed with understanding now. Oh, you're supposed to stay on the road and not run into a tree or a telephone pole or drive off the cliff. The road knows where it's going. Your body is the road for the spiritual force that come in. Body knows how to walk. Some of these forces that you're incorporating now within the throat chakra and solar plexus doesn't know how to work. Throat chakra and the thymus area. These beings, as they come into that area, they're not sure how to manipulate the body. They're an organ and chakras. They know the body maneuvers, but they don't have the conditional qualities to make this arm do that and this leg do that and this that. That's part of your inner circuitry that you have to train them to use, as you would train a little one to drive a car. And then they get it. Because you have authorities above you that are you, that do not appreciate what you've been doing to the body. And that's why a lot of beings, when they go through comas, they don't want to come back in the body because they see what the body looks like, how difficult it is to manipulate it. And they don't want to come back unless there is an agreement that they can come back with them, because they have to make the agreement. You can't force someone back in. Well, you can, but it's inappropriate. And they will have to adjust to the circumstances because they've been out of the body in coma condition in other environments, and they know what the body cannot do here, but they know what the body needs to do. So they'll take another body, or they'll try to come back in and last a little bit longer. This is the confusion. You really, really are dealing with spiritual forces. Really are. You're really dealing with the Holy Spirit, which is Shiva. You really are. And He's the teacher of the teachers. You can blaspheme the Father and the Son and the angels, but not the Holy Spirit. It won't work. It's what provides the ability for movement. It's what provides the ability for movement. It's the overlay in your muscle and your ligaments. It's what squeezes your bone. That thin layer around your bone is the Holy Spirit's manifested force that squeezes the bone, it makes the bone, you would say, weep, but it produces the blood in its crying and the bliss of the Holy Spirit. And the bone has blood. And the Holy Spirit is what gives you the blood, nothing else. You're in those conditions. They're your conditions. Awareness of the Holy Spirit and the understanding of the manufacture of blood, the importance of bones, and then you'll understand the importance of how you call your overlays, your flesh, what you look like, what you think you look like, and then what you really look like. So a process of becoming more. In this, movement that's going on, there is an objection to some of these new teachings that are coming out, because the churches don't have a handle on it, and there's consciousness in the churches that are defending their territory, so to speak, of consciousness. Basically, it's their control of everyone, or whoever it is in their church is the controller. And you have churches battling churches. It's for control of consciousness. Your consciousness is yours, it's free, you can do whatever you want with it. The important thing to remember is God's God, you're not, but you're becoming and you have hope to be that. Because that force is teaching you. And I'm going to say this, Jesus is Jesus, John the Baptist is John the Baptist, the Virgin Mother is the Virgin Mother, and I didn't say was. Feeling it. You just felt it. And I'm telling you, those that are listening on YouTube, you're feeling it. So you need to understand who's really communicating with you. Because he hasn't forgotten. He taught, he's teaching, he always will. Because you're going to be in that presence. As it runs through and heals you without even a question. Doesn't ask why you're sick. Fixes it. Knows already. And this force you call God, you can't think in front of it. It already knows all the thing you're going to try to think, and you'll get hit with a lightning bolt. You stay in the presence of peace and space and think nothing, and you say this phase of bliss. And then you hope you release so you can come back and think you're yourself. Because when you're in the great expansion of light, you're there. You can't see anything, it's just light, it's all light. Like looking at lightning bolts. And then you re-manifest yourself. Actually, you're pushed down. You're pushed down. When you're going to find out gravity's really not a pull, it's a push. You're pushed down back into your level of consciousness so you can understand. You have a body for a reason. It's because it's your test tube, your petri dish, and you're going through this process of understanding yourselves gradually as it starts moving up the spine in the recognition of breath and the pleasure of the moment, actually, no matter where you are. And you're going to have the with gentleness and calmness, you can have the nature of water explained to you. Now I know you think it's a liquid and it's a solid and it's a gas, but it's much more than that. It's much more than that. Water is like the infant baby of God, brand new born, as you would be with a newborn. That's what water is. And God knows it. And the divine knows it. And there's appreciation for what water can do. That's why some waters where you pray for, and then you sprinkle what you term it holy water on ones that relieves conditions. Because the water knows what to do. It communicates with water. Its command it doesn't have a dictionary definition it worries about. It just knows the energy and transmits it. That's really the importance of yourself. It's the water that you are. Okay, that'd be enough for now. Do you have any questions?
No, there's so many different things that... No. I have something I'd like to talk about.
Okay.
That I started to talk about to Arthur. I would like to put out a little book. When I talked about it before, you gave me a channeling because I didn't explain it properly. But I want it to be like a compendium of your teachings about the moon, about water, about bones, about simple things in a small book that you can do. Illustrations, simple things, not 10,000 words, but because your teachings are new and they're not available anyplace else. And a little handbook that people could carry around with them, I think would be very helpful. How to work with the moon, with the water.
What we'll do is we'll take the pictures of the phases of the moon, explain the emotional conditions in the moon as it comes forth, and then what you'll have is your own astrological chart, not where the moon's positioned. It's determined by your birth sign. Okay? Everybody got in so much detail, the moon's in, stop. Your birth sign and the moon. That is the strongest contact. So we'll have pictures of the moon's phases, and then we'll have instructions of how the moon affects 12 signs.
Okay, that's one thing. And then working with the water. There's so many things that you've given us that
Right.
are just new.
It'll be the moon, the astrological sign, and the water. We got to put them together for the. But it'll be not very much verbiage for the astrological sign. Everybody knows who they are.
Yes.
We'll just do the water and then how the moon really talks to the water to get the astrological sign working.
Okay.
And it's the water that talks to the moon, actually, but we'll cover that.
Okay.
Yeah. And
But
then,
all the different teachings, there's been so many that you've given us, and they're just lost in all. Some of it's published, some of it's not. Some is on YouTube, some is not.
well, we kind of spread this out, shotgun effect, because if we, the little book is a good idea. And we'll do that and put the pieces together in a little pamphlet. It won't be big, but it'll give an idea. You look up your astrological chart and there's your information. So it'll actually be pretty specific because you're the thought that drove that thing.
Okay.
And then you'll realize what you did and you can work with it
Okay.
purposefully. You know how to apply it.
Okay.
We'll do that.
Do you want to make a list of all the different things? Do you want us to? I don't have time. Arthur doesn't have. He's got time to go through the books and pull out all the things.
We'll get we're going to have to keep it to too much information can be confusing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah? So
Well, that's with all the books that we got now.
yeah. So we're going to do the moon, the astrological sign that you're born in, and the explanation of what you did using that sign in the moon. So you'll know what you did and then how you work it.
Okay.
Right? It'll be specific.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be. Yeah.
But not just that. I'd like to have the 49 personalities has not been discussed before. The working with the water, not with the moon. I mean, just to drink water.
Yeah.
So much of what you said is so new that I'd like to capture it.
Yeah. What this book will do, for those that are integral, it will take you into your shamanic power. And once you're into your shamanic power, you're supposed to know what you're doing.
Excellent.
Right.
Excellent. And how and when and why does this involve you working with Arthur, you channeling, you how do we do this?
We'll get him sitting down. I've already put the pieces in his auric field so he knows what's going on. He sees the moon, he sees the ocean, he sees the birth sign. He's going to have to get the personality part in there with the chakras. But that's there's 49 personalities are really pretty easy to understand because everybody is connected to the root chakra. And then you just become gentle with yourself as you go up through the different categories. You just appreciate the being that's there and it appreciates you and everybody calms down. Because you got juveniles and then you got all of this other stuff. Things. But that's easy. We'll fix that. No problem. So we'll have the moon, the signs, and the categories. So it's specific to the birth sign and your moon. And when your moon is doing a thing, you really need to understand the ocean. And you do that by drinking water carefully. So we'll explain that in the book. I got it.
Okay.
Okay. And we'll get him laying down with this thing.
Wonderful.
I mean, what you say, put it in order.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
It would be like the teachings so far, And this is the spirit of space and Gabriel and Uriel, or who's here?
Right now we got Uriel and Gabriel and the spirit of space. The spirit of space is Gabriel is here, sort of overlooking. Uriel is doing the introduction and most of the verbiage on the presentation aspect. Uriel is the being that guards the gate coming out of hell. He's the one that opens the doors for the passages there. And at that level there's teachings that must be understood. It's like you have a test. Now you beings have these 10 commandments. Thou shalt not do this, blah, blah, blah. Well, in the Egyptian force, that process, as you proceed, you would say, I didn't do this. You're talking to the divine. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. I didn't kill anybody. I didn't. Instead of thou shalt not. Those were warnings by Moses to the people. But you have to declare you didn't do it. You see? And that was the Egyptian understanding of the declaration of not doing what you did do. This is Anubis passage you have to go through. The Anubis passage. And that's in regards to the moon. Because the moon's memory, emotional memory. So you can't lie about I didn't do.
Okay.
So we'll explain that also. You get it concise. And it won't be thick, it'll be small.
Yes.
So you can carry it with you. And
Yes.
there'll be other things too. Basically, the title of the book is just Remember God, because that's what you're hoping to become.
Remember God?
Remember God.
Remember God. Okay.
Because that's what you're hoping to become.
Okay.
You're training in this thing. You're going up, as you move, you're going to take, angels are going to go higher, you're going to replace one. It's a promotional thing going on.
Okay. Wonderful. And what do you think? Arthur's welcome to come up here any time, but it's such a long drive. I would like a channeling every month, but I'm going to try to cut back on some of the books.
We can do the telephone thing with you and him if we can get this thing done.
Well, it's just, Skype doesn't cost anything. He just downloads it. I already have it set up. He just calls me, I record it, there's no problem whatsoever.
Okay,
I will miss seeing you, but I mean, it's easier for him.
Yeah, at times he doesn't want to get out, and at times we got to send him out.
All right.
He needs to see something.
See something different, yeah. All right, well, that's up to you. I'm amenable to whatever.
Okay.
Whatever is good for you.
Okay, we'll get that.
Now, what about the stuff he's going through? Is there a whole other change in his level of understanding?
Yeah, there's most of... He always gets this feeling he doesn't want to do the channeling thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because part of the process he has to go through is the death process. He has to feel it, he has to sense it, he has to... and then come back through it. So he sees things and has notification of things that he can't really talk about. He has to kind of assimilate it into a protective covering, because some of the force that comes through can be damaging to other people without them even knowing it. Because he's getting to the point where he pre-anticipates thought. And as that happens, you set up defenses, and because some people's thoughts are not even appropriate for anything, you know. So he has to be careful where he is and as the energies shift, because he has a difficult time walking into stores because everybody starts looking. That's starting to happen. So he's got to be careful. There are other beings that don't want some of this information out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, you take good care of him, huh?
Yeah, we got him under control, so to speak.
Okay, I'll ask him to listen to the last couple. We won't transcribe, we won't print any of this, but I'll ask him to listen to the last couple minutes, okay?
Well, he's listening right now.
Okay.
In sort of a... okay.
All right. Okay, wonderful.
Okay, so we are done?
We are done. And then, right after you, go ahead, hear it.